Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, profitable investing with technical analysis. I thought I'd start with Super Lover Man from Johnny Guitar Watson. Seriously, let's get into it. Just wanted to do an update here. First of all, let's take a look at the short call on the S&P 500. So, we had an ending diagonal pattern, the two converging trend lines. We had a breakdown, big breakdown from that. Ending diagonals are usually found at the end of major market moves, and they suggest a change of trend. And then we had some sideways trading, some volatility. And then we had a confluence of moving averages into a bearish rainbow convergence. We had a slight break above and then a return down and below that. And so, that's kind of a key area for us. But I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm going to have my short call way up here at 6,100. So, I don't know, it's about 2% higher than where we're at now. We also have a potential head and shoulders bearish pattern here. The left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, the neckline. A break below 6,800 would give us a price projection of 5,500. So all that's possible. We're just going to monitor this and try to take advantage, make money any way we can. One other thing on the S&P 500 before I get into copper is that the weekly and the monthly charts are showing bearish divergences, which usually precede a correction. Could be 5-10%. It could be greater than that. So, uh, because of time constraints, I'm going to keep it short, looking at the shorter term. And over the weekend, I'll give you a longer term view of the S&P 500. Tomorrow will be an important day. See, the futures are down a little bit. Copper. So, copper, platinum, those two commodities have been at the bottom of my buy list, 6, 7, 8 securities over the last month or two as prices languished beneath this rainbow convergence that's coming into effect. And so my comments were that prices could drift down towards the $25 area, and I had my stop at 24.5. And when we got the bullish hammer last week, I did a call over the weekend and said, hey, this is a really good place to start adding the copper and platinum. And tomorrow will be an important day. If we can close above this bearish rainbow convergence, it tells us that a lot of short covering is going to happen, and that should help copper prices to the upside. So the bigger pattern here is a huge uh, ascending triangle with a flat top and an ascending bottom. And, if you want to go back through all the buys and sells, we've done pretty well with copper, buying it here, selling it way up here, trying to buy it here, getting stopped out, buying it again. We're still below that price, but we're getting close to break even. So my buy stops at 24.5. So tomorrow with an up day or even a flat day would be very bullish for copper. And if you look at the point and figure chart, so this is the least subjective, I draw those other charts. This is just a supply and demand chart. And we got a bullish trend line here, and we got a bullish price projection of 49. So we're at 26.74. So I don't know, that's a double. So the potential is really huge here. That's why I've been keeping it on my radar list and hopefully on your radar list. And if we look at the big picture on copper, this is pretty crazy. It looks a lot like China, except for China's down here in the same pattern. We have a 16, 17, 16-year ascending triangle with a flat top and an ascending bottom. And we had this triangle that we broke out of that I just showed you on the weekly chart. And we had a slight spike breakout here. And now we've had a retracement. And this is where all the noise is that we've been trading since then. And the reason why I'm so interested in copper is because this big price, this big pattern, you're talking about a 17-year pattern. This is huge. So if it ever does break above 475, it could go to $8. And right now we're at 431. So are you going to get that in Bitcoin? I don't think so. You're going to get that in the S&P 500. You're going to get that in Microsoft. You're going to get that in NVIDIA. No, you possibly could get it here. So stay tuned. Platinum, kind of the same thing. This is a symmetrical triangle, not an ascending triangle. But when prices were below this bearish convergence, with copper, I would say, these are at the bottom of my list right now. They could go all the way down to 80 or 78. And then we had a bullish hammer last week, and now we got a breakout. Well, we got another up week, up 2.25% while the market's down. But tomorrow's going to be really important. It's got to break above this and have a weekly close. This is a weekly chart. So we need a weekly close up here to tell us that this pressure from this bearish convergence is over. Out of the stock picks that I still am long, I like Exelon. This looks great. It looks better than other utility companies. Remember, I had Southern companies. I had XOU that did extremely well last year. Got to our big pattern breakout price projections and it retreated. And anything interest rate sensitive over the last couple of months has gotten killed. This has hung in there like a champ. So again, we got a big 2-year pattern, and the price projection is way up at 51, and we're holding in there really well. We had a bullish hammer 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and that's where our stop is at 36. There's a lot of upside here. So out of the equity suggestions I have, even though people think interest rates are going to skyrocket, and maybe they are, but I got to follow my pattern. And right now, Exxon looks really good. Big upside. I mean, you're talking about, so again, get rid of my subjective charts and let's look at the point and figure charts. These are just supply and demand. I don't draw these. These are automatically drawn. And you can see our bullish trend line here is in place. And you can see our bullish price projection is 52. We're at $38. So you're looking at 30% plus. And you got a big dividend on Exelon. I think it's north of 4%. And this has 51, point and figure showing 49 or 52. So I like the way it's hanging in here. And it's gone against, there must be something going on with Exelon as a company. I don't know. I know they're a big nuclear supplier, which is the cheapest form of power. So maybe that has something to do with it. Okay, Microsoft. This is the second most important equity holding suggestion that I did. This was not the greatest buy. It should have been closer, but the pattern is still intact, but it's hanging on by a thread. Again, you got a bearish convergence here, rainbow convergence, similar to what copper had. But copper was able to break out. Microsoft's a bellwether. Microsoft, NVIDIA, those stocks are going to tell us where the market's going. I think this will fail, but we'll see. So If you own some, I'd hold on to it. If you're looking to buy, I'd wait for a break above 430, which would be this rainbow convergence. And we got to buy, the price projections at 517. I don't know, 20% higher possibly. And the point and figure chart, again, a least subjective chart is showing me probably a stop about 416 or so. So Microsoft's going to tell us a lot. And so I'm glad we have it in our long positions. China. China's holding on too. These are all holding on by a thread. Again, we had a big inverse head and shoulders pattern a year and a half or so in the making. We had these big up spikes. Told you guys to sell, sell, sell. Whenever anything is up like that you got to be selling. Uh, and now we've gotten a correction back to the neckline. We're holding in here. The stop is at 29, and we'll see what happens here. It's hard to be overly bullish, even though China is has the lowest correlation of really any other country equity that I know of. But this is the large cap ETF that's traded in the US. It's not the Shanghai index. And so, you got to have a little bit of you got to be uncomfortable right now. Have I been adding? I try to bounce around. If it's up 2% one day, I'll sell some. If it's down 1.5% the next day, I'll buy it. I'll buy some. But I'm just dancing right now. I'm trying to get some sort of a meaningful reversal. If we get a big update tomorrow and we got a big bullish hammer here, that would tell me maybe a low is in and I'd be a little more aggressive. 10-cent holdings. This broke. It broke our stop, but not our original stop. So what did I do? I sold half of my position. This is a huge pattern with huge upside. So I'm not giving up on this totally, but you got to follow your discipline. So this obviously on big volume was a big down day, even though this is a thinly traded stock in the US, because this is not traded on the Shanghai index. My guess is that would look different if it was in Chinese currency. But anyway, yeah, I sold half of my position, but I'm not giving up on this. So um, that's we've gotten stopped out of some of our position. Thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. I wanted to just give you an update. You got to own some sort of commodities in your portfolio. If you're a traditional stock buyer, you need something. And there's some other commodities that I will be doing updates on with bullish outlooks. So thank you. Enjoy your evening. Tomorrow's Friday. Like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Have a great night. Adios.